Hello and welcome to Talk a Good Game. It's just finished. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0 at Anfield. A Sadio Mane winner separating the two sides. We're here to discuss the highlights. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, and drop a like on the video. You might just enjoy it. Gonzo, up until it was 1-0, what did you make of the first half, I guess?
I thought we sat back. I thought we defended really, really well. I thought there was some good blocks from everyone. Has to be said that. But we got a lucky escape early on when Cresswell was sleeping. Obviously, they played the early ball for the free kick, but fortunately, I think Zuma did just enough to try and recover and do something, just to put a bit of pressure on. Also, Fabianski was able to cover his angles quite well. That was good. After that, we had a double block from Dawson, block from Zuma. Fabianski caught well from when it was wide. And I thought we were defending well. And I thought what I was hoping was going to happen, that we'd have a counter-attack or two. And we really did do. And I was pleased about that. I was not so pleased about, I think we got 2 corners in the first half. The deliveries were awful. And when you're playing in that way where you're defending, you're relying on people throwing their bodies on the line, those counter-attacks, and particularly for us, the corners, the set plays, the delivery has got to be good to give yourself a fighting chance. And so that was the only disappointing thing. But I thought we looked really well organised. But it's a tough. I felt it was tough. They're tiring to watch, aren't they, Liverpool? It must be tiring to play against them because they're constant. They're buzzing everywhere, and they're relentless in the way that they sort of swarm over you and move the ball so quickly. And you sort of almost don't blame people for losing concentration and those things. But I thought we did pretty damn well, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't disagree too much. I thought we were working hard. It was very hand-to-hand. I mean, the first 10 minutes was a bit of an onslaught from Liverpool, actually. When we started to get our foot on the ball and get out our half a little bit and try those counter-attacks, I was kind of relieved, actually, because I thought, I can't do another 80 minutes of this where we're just sitting in and letting them batter us, essentially. We got off with it in the first 2 minutes because I know Cresswell was asleep, but I don't know what on earth Finals was doing. He's offside or whatever. And he stops the ball dead and walks away from it. So Alexander-Arnold can just walk up and hit it. He sets Alexander-Arnold up for the free kick. At least just flick it away to the side or something, or pick it up and walk a couple of yards and turn around and throw it back. He just left the base. So there you go, mate. Listen, I've said, especially for someone, Finals, who likes a quick free kick himself. You think he'd be a bit clued up and that this is the type of opportunity you should look for. Antonio tested Alisson, a couple of early efforts from him as well. But it was 1-0, Gonzo, 27 minutes, ball fall to Alexander-Arnold, has a shot. Sadio Mane tucks it in. But how did you see the goal?
I thought it was a mishit shot. I think he strikes the ball so well normally. Such wonderful technique. What a player he is, by the way. So I thought he mishit it. Thought it was a scuffed shot. I thought Mane sort of read the scuff better than Dawson did. And Dawson was the right side of him. And realistically, Mane shouldn't have got that because Dawson was the right side of him. Dawson's positioning was A1, was spot on. But he just didn't. I don't know why he didn't read that going through. I wonder if he was just a bit too frightened of deflecting it into his own goal, perhaps. So if that was, it doesn't really matter what the reason was. He didn't actually react to it well enough or do anything in particular. Mane did react, and it was a goal, and you can't say it wasn't a deserved goal because they were the better team, obviously, but it was a shame for all the hard work that everyone else has done. And Dawson himself, what was it, 11 minutes, he did a remarkable double block, to stop them scoring. Well, I couldn't have scored twice because one of them would have been a goal, but you know what I mean. And his own hard work. So I thought that was disappointing. That was not great defending there.
It was poor from Dawson and Fabianski on this one. Fabianski's got to be doing better for that one. I don't know what he's doing. He sort of goes for it, doesn't go for it. He half-hearted commits himself, which is a dangerous thing. You either go in or you don't go in. You certainly don't do half the job because it puts everyone off around you as well. So he's done that fault, but yet Dawson's a yard behind the other defenders as well. He's keeping them on side. And then when the ball does come across, he's slow to react to it. Mane's nipped in and tucked it away, and it reminded me of Broja's penalty for Southampton the other night, where the striker's just a bit quicker than him, a bit more switched on, a bit more intelligent than him, and Dawson's a yard or two behind Kurt Zouma, wondering where the ball's just come from and where it's going, kind of thing. And It was a right sucker punch because the goal was coming for Liverpool at this point. I sensed it coming, but I also sensed the goal coming for us as well, to be honest with you. I'm surprised come half time that we hadn't scored. We should have scored. We'll get on to somebody in a minute. But it was one of them. When we went 1-0 up, I thought, oh no, here it goes now. Not necessarily floodgates are going to open, but I thought, oh, that's our wall, if you like, gone. We're now going to have to come out and play a little bit, which is dangerous. It was real disappointing to concede a goal like that, because when your team is working hard, and when you're running after everything, you're trying to block everything, and then somebody does an individual error. I think that's the worst way to concede. And to some extent, you concede a fantastic strike like we did against Southampton. You've just got to be like, right, shrug it off a little bit and say, right, we'll move on. Not much we can do. But that one, the more you see, the more you think, oh, you too. Why have you not sorted that out? It's not good enough. And it's not the first time this season. I mean, hell, it's a third goal in a matter of the second game that we're looking at Dawson's, and you could have done a bit better there. And also with Fabianski, just off the back of not necessarily the Wolves won the game prior to that, where Fabianski wasn't a great performance from him today. You know, like you said, he come and caught a cross. I mean, I just about fell off my chair when I saw him come get that. Bloody hell, that's not like him, is it? Yeah. But then he ran to the edge of the box, pretended he was going to release it quickly, and then just jogged about the 18-yarder kind of thing. But a frustrating goal to concede, because when you go to Anfield, you can't make mistakes. But speaking of mistakes, Ben Johnson, wonderful ball over the top to put Pablo Fornals in, Gonzo, and there he was, one-on-one with goal, and he tries to dink the tallest goalkeeper in the league.
Well, he did. He did dink him, but it didn't. You know, he got it over him. That's fine. Unfortunately, it didn't have enough pace or enough topspin on it to allow it to roll forward, and I think it was Alexander-Arnold got back. So I mean, in essence, it was the wrong choice. He should have gone on either side of him. Really, looked a bit cute. I mean, there's a lot, and this is what we can look at today. When there are a lot of chances today, we could have scored 4 or 5 goals. Same with first half against Southampton, by the way. I felt we were getting into those areas really well. So something's changed in the team, and 2 different formations as well. That's happened, and so that's good. But what has not changed is actually the final bit. The final bit. It's not necessarily just the shot. There were some points, particularly in the second half, where the final ball should have been better. I alluded to the corners earlier, but yeah, that sort of set the tone really, because we caused them problems. We were the better team. They are the better team. They had all the best players. We praised them to the hilt in the preview, Liverpool, but we caused them problems. Both our players did, and tactically we did. It's just a real shame we didn't have that cutting edge, and that was the start of it, really, wasn't it? But two good shots actually from Antonio that you alluded to as well, which forced good saves from Alisson, which actually led to the corners. So we had an attack about us. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's frustrating from Fornals. You know, you don't get many decent chances. We were to go on and get another one in the second half as well. But them Antonio shots were half chances at best. That's what you kind of get, and you've got to try and hope something pays off. But that Fornals one, you know, he times his run to perfection. A ball from Ben Johnson is perfect as well. If anything, it's almost too perfect. He's got too much time on his hands, Fornals. It's better off if he's got one touch and he's got to shoot. He might have done something a bit different. But just try and dink Alisson in front of the cop, I thought, fair play, you got a bit of balls about you, but it was the wrong thing to do. And the more you see it back, the more you say, come on, man, come on, we can't be doing this. You've got to be a bit more clinical there. Poor decision from him in the end. But half-time, what did you make of it, the first half?
I was a lot better than I expected. An awful lot better than I expected. I mean, there were a few people alluded to the fact in the build-up that we were going to sit back and try and hit on a break. It's exactly what we did. I thought we defended really well. Really, really well. You know, if you could put a highlight... This is both a good and a bad thing. You put a highlights package together of the headers, the interceptions, the blocks and the tackles. There'd be a lot of players who get some high marks in terms of, you know, what they did defensively. I thought the way we flicked very, very quickly from defense to attack was pretty damn good. I mean, it's just had a thankless task, Antonio, because they're so good. The 2 defenders are so good, and I would suggest that Van Dijk is coming back to his best as well. So that was not an easy pairing to play against, really. But I didn't think by any stretch by the way, that we couldn't get another goal in that game, even at half time. That's what I was thinking. I think actually we can get something here. I never thought we'd be the dominant force in the game. And in many respects, I know we'll go to the other bits in a minute, but even towards the end of that game, I thought Liverpool were a little bit reckless. I thought they're not doing themselves any favours here. I thought there was actually a case for Liverpool on 85 minutes said, you know what, let's just shut up shop, let's take. But they can't help themselves. That's just, it's in their DNA to attack high line. And I felt there was space behind the Liverpool defence all game.
Yeah, I thought the tactics were right. I think we worked hard. Everybody worked hard. The problem is just the final third. We weren't good enough in the final third. There was a couple of occasions. I remember Souček playing Vlasic down the left-hand side. Antonio and Bowen busting and asked to get in the box. He sort of just lofted it in the box. It wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. It was a really poor pick how he just lofted it in there, and it just wasn't quite good enough. And this Liverpool defence were ropey. This was not a vintage Liverpool performance today. They looked good on occasions going forward. I thought their midfield was relatively quiet for Liverpool. I thought their defence was pretty poor, actually. So at half time, I was sort of okay with the first half. That we're in this, we're playing quite well, some good performances individually, but at the same time, I was a little bit disappointed, Gonzo, because I thought had we actually just been a little bit better, a little bit more composure, a bit more clinical, we'd have been either level or ahead in that first half, and it just felt like a massive wasted opportunity. We were playing well, but nothing to show for it. I think we were probably playing better than what Liverpool were playing, yet they were leading, and I think that's the difference of the two teams. That one team just needed one half chance to get a goal, another one had quite a few. We went and taken our chances. The second half, though, well, I don't know. Well, let's go to that Lanzini chance. I mean, Gonzo, there's one person. You said to me, this is the ball in. Who do you want it to fall to? I'd probably said, Lanzini, please, actually. I mean, he does the hard bit, doesn't he? He takes it down, shrugs off Alexander-Arnold, and then he panics.
Yeah, and a great cross. Sorry, can I just say in the chat, can we keep it to football, please? I absolutely loved that cross from Souček. I really loved this cross from Souček. Thought it was brilliant. He took the poise, he took the time, he took it down, and I thought he was going to go the first time, and he didn't. And I thought, okay, well, he's done the right thing here. First of all, oh no, what are you doing? Oh, good. Where was I don't know what he tried to do. Maybe he'd been watching 4 hours in the first half. And he was trying, I don't know what he was trying to do. Obviously, it was miscontrol. Oh, absolutely gutted. It was the golden chance. That was the best chance. Might have been the best chance of the whole game. It probably was the best chance of the whole game because even, let's be fair, even Mane's was contested a little bit, wasn't it? You know, so, oh, mate. But I still thought then, hold on, we can still get somebody. And we were still going to go on to get Antonio still had a chance after that. There were still other opportunities to get the ball in and around the box. Oh, mate, you know what I mean? But we had a little 5-minute spell there where we looked like we may well score. I thought we looked really good.
The bad news, though, Jared Bowen went off injured reasonably early into the second half. It's a risk, I guess, when you're going to play him.
Well, yeah. Well, he had a chance as well, and I thought there was a little bit. He had two races today with Robertson and lost them both, by the way. And it just when he went through there again, I thought, I don't know whether it was the Southampton one or the Wolves game, but in one of those games he was through on goal as well. And I remember saying, if that had been 2 or 3 weeks ago, you'd have seen a real clinical Bowen. I don't know if he got injured in that one. I don't know if that's what happened, because it seemed to happen quite soon after that. But it had the. I broke my ankle before playing football, and I didn't really know. And I got up. I thought it was sore, and I got up, and then thought, oh, actually, no, something's not right. You don't always know. I do wonder there if that's not a bruising, that's not something else. That may well be a break of some description. I would not be surprised, or a fracture. I wouldn't be surprised that's a bone in his foot or a fractured ankle or something like that. Did not look good at all, mate.
Yeah, worrying. We'll wait to see more news on Jared Bowen, but off he went injured anyway, and it's one of them. It sort of overshadows the game a little bit because already you're thinking, oh no, this is not good. Ahead of Thursday, this is not good. But he went off. But we did a sub as well. We took Vlasic off and put Mark Noble on. I'm not going to lie, Gonzo, it was like watching Prime Iniesta. And I was enjoying Mark Noble's performance. It was him that played the ball out to Souček outside of his right foot. He's doing 1-2s. Mark Noble was running the gap. I was thoroughly enjoying that. Oh, good for Mark Noble.
Yeah, great. And a great ball. You played a ball over to. Played a fantastic ball. Was that to Antonio possibly?
When Antonio went down and then didn't cross for Ben Rama, that was from Noble, and I think it was him that played out to Souček as well. I could be wrong about that, but he was pulling the strings. He was coming on. He was everywhere. I thoroughly enjoyed that vintage Noble.
Yeah, it was all part of it. It was all part of that spell, that really good spell that we had. It's quite. Look, we've lost the game there, Geo, but actually, I think it's nice that we can take some things away from that. Actually, there's some positives that we can take for that, and we do. There's finishing, there's cutting edge to be sorted out. There's no doubt about it, and it does show how much, particularly in the last few games, we have scored goals, and Bowen was scoring, quite how much we're relying on him. Someone needs to find a goal scoring touch from somewhere. But there were reasons to be positive, certainly on there, and I thought they'll be pleased to see the back of that game, Liverpool. There's no doubt about it. They'll be thinking, thank goodness, we ain't got to play them again. We've beaten them once, and we're going to have a really, really tough game then. You don't get any points for the tough game we just had, but you do get 3 for the previous one, I guess, which is something. But, oh, mate, just frustrating in the end, wasn't it? Just a bit frustrating, really.
Yeah, I thought the Noble sub was the right sub at the time. I thought Liverpool were on top in the second half. They came out. I thought they were the better team, really. I think they had a little bit of momentum. The start came up halfway through the second half before Noble sub that they had 5 shots to our 1. I felt like they were really pushing for that second goal. I think Noble come on, it just tightened up midfield a little bit, moved Lanzini further forward a bit more as well. And I thought it was a good sub. And then I thought we started to get into the game a bit more, and we started to cause them a little bit of problems. And we did cause them problems. Towards the end of the half, though, Gonzo, there's a couple of big chances still. At one point, Antonio went sort of through. Keita got back, made a really good tackle. What did you make of the performance in the second half?
I was proud of it, actually. I was proud of it, I've got to say. I was pleased to see that. They're so good. Liverpool are so good. And they're all these other things, whether we should have people there, we'll talk about that in the squad depth. They're all separate things, all right? This is a review on the game that we've just seen, okay? And we will deal with those other things. We absolutely will in other videos, no doubt about that, right? But I was really proud of the performance that those players put out today. And I cannot blame, I can't even, Dawson made a mistake. He really did. But my words, he did a lot of blocks and he did a lot of tackles. A few players made mistakes. I can't bring myself to blame. I thought Lanzini had a wonderful game. I can't bring myself to blame him, for that thing. Look, Ben Rama really mucked up across at the end, but he came on, he really tried. You could see he was desperate to get involved in that game. Souček really tried to pull himself through there. He sacrificed himself for the team, all bandaged up. Played just kept blocking and tackling and all the rest of it. And then a couple of times he got forward and he did okay. That ball for Lanzini was Souček's. It was bloody good. He broke down the wing and he crossed the ball over. Well done, Thomas Souček. But Antonio, battling against people. One of the guys was, they were both stronger than him. One of them was quicker than him. Do you know what? He don't care. I'm gonna have some of that as well. And he really took it to them. He really tried to damage. He was outnumbered there, Antonio, and he really tried to damage that. I thought look, I'll tell you now. I thought Robertson was quicker than Bowen. I thought there was a point when Ben Rama in the second half tried to run past Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent Alexander-Arnold's quicker than Ben Rama, right? Vlasic was outpaced by Van Dijk, and there was another one where Antonio tried to do a race with Konate and he couldn't beat him, right? So they were quicker than us, they were better than us, but you know what? We didn't stop. We kept on going for it and going for it and going for it. And I thought I was really pleased with what I saw, I've got to be honest with you. Lack of quality in the final third, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've got 2 sides to this. The first side is I thought we worked our arse off today. I thought every player gave 100%. I thought the tactics were right. they were right. We created chances, or I say we created chances. We create chances to create chances, if you know what I mean. The final ball wasn't quite there, but the person was getting in the position. The break was on. Someone was in the box, but the ball never came in. It wasn't quite good enough. So I thought we did a hell of a lot right. I thought the substitution of Noble was the right thing to do. It tilted the game in our favour a little bit. Would have liked to have seen the third sub done a little bit earlier, so Chester's got more than 1.5 minutes on the pitch. But fine, whatever. I thought there's some really good individual performances out there. Again, today, lots of positives to take. I feel more positive about that performance than I do from the draw against Leicester or the draw against Newcastle, for example, even though we've lost today. However, the other side of the coin is that's a massive missed opportunity tonight. We put out our first team tonight when perhaps it might have been wiser to rotate, but we put out the first 11, fine. But I said to you in the build-up, you've got to justify that by picking something up, really. You've got a bit of pressure now. And I thought we should have done. We should have picked up something from that game. I thought we deserved a draw. The only thing stopping us getting a draw was the poor decisions and then poor finishing or poor passing in the final third. And they're all culpable. Benrahma's cross to Antonio towards the end was really poor. Antonio should have crossed it to Benrahma, didn't, really poor. Fanal's one-on-one, really poor. Lanzini's chance does the hard bit, take it down, finish, really poor. And it's one of them where
corners as well. Corners
were poor. Really, so when it mattered, we had a free kick. Martin Noble lofted it into the 18-yarder. He shouldn't be taking free kick. He's not our best penalty. He's our best penalty taker. He's not our best set piece taker. He should not be taking that. As much as I've just praised Noble and a little bit, it is to be fun. That was selfish from him. He's the captain. He's gone over there and said to Alan Creswell, "I'm taking this." He shouldn't be doing that. He should be letting Creswell, our best free kick taker, swing it in. I can kind of get it. He's sat on the bench watching the corners thinking, well, these are crap. You boys ain't doing it. So I'm going to make sure I beat the first man by lofting it in there and give our centre-backs a 50-50 in there against them. So I'm actually a bit disappointed that we've not come away with something because I think we should have done for better decisions or finishing in the final third. We should have scored today. We didn't score. And they're all culpable. What I will say, we're going on to individual performances now. And to kick it off, I will say, I thought Antonio was fantastic today. I thought in the first half, he stayed well away from Van Dijk, which is the right thing to do. He's the best centre-back in the league. Just stay away from him. Don't go near him. Get up against Konate. Yes, he's there. He enjoys a physical battle. And I thought Antonio had him, maybe not on toast, but I thought Antonio won that battle throughout 90 minutes, and he probably should have been booked in the second half, Konate, for consistently fouling him. I thought Antonio was looking good. His third shot in the first half, shouldn't have taken it. It was a very rash effort and went well wide. But something that was down to Bowen. Bowen took way too long to pass it. By the time he played it, there was 3 centre-backs, 3 defenders running after him. I thought Antonio was really, really good. It's really encouraging now. This is the third good performance from him in a row. The one before that was Newcastle. I thought he had a good first half, really bad second half. So for me, it's 3 good games plus 1 half out of 4.
Yeah, sure.
Really encouraging to see. And I felt a bit sorry for him. And I think he should have squared it to Benrahma at the end there. But I'll tell you what, just before that, Antonio was sort of onside, holding his run. Benrahma had it. Benrahma went into the middle, dribbling about the pitch, and you could see Antonio throwing his arms around, fuming. So when Antonio then goes breaking, in a weird way, I'm not surprised he doesn't cross it. He's probably thinking, "No, bugger you! You're not passing to me. I'm not passing to you." It was a bit selfish from both of them, really. But yeah, individual performance guns. I've kicked off with Antonio, and what I will say, I know we'll do it in a second, but he's my man of match.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, do you know what? If you're doing it, I'll do it as well. My man of match was Manuel Lanzini. I thought he was tremendous today. I can't look. Well, we'll probably mark him down a little bit in the player ratings for the miss because it was a terrible miss. But I thought, in terms of football, I thought it was magnificent. Really, really magnificent. When you're under that much pressure to be that, I thought it was brave. I thought it was a brave performance on the ball when they're flying at you and they're closing down. The amount of times he twisted and turned or nutmegged or tried to play a 1-2 to actually try and play your way out of trouble. And I thought almost all of what he did succeeded, under so much pressure, swarms of it. They had so much possession and everything that just to be able to give the rest of the team a break. And I thought he actually linked really once again. I thought he linked well with Fornals actually. And I was really pleased to see that. My goodness, he's going to be really important for the remainder of the season. I've really thoroughly enjoyed that. Other performances. Yeah, I mean, I actually thought Fornals played well again. So I think we've got players looking better than they were. Players that had dipped in Fornals and Antonio looking better. I'm not quite ready to herald Souček as having recovered from his slump yet, but I think what you said about Antonio was absolutely right, and particularly about him pulling over to Canate's side. A thankless task from Antonio as well, and a task that I don't blame anyone for anything today, because that was such a hard. It's like climbing a mountain. Do you know what? I didn't quite reach the summit, but I think, you know what? Fair enough for having a crack. You really did have a go there, and I don't blame anyone for their heads dipping, but they didn't. And no matter how much Antonio the whistle didn't quite go for him on all occasions. There was a little bit of home advantage in terms of referee, in terms of Konate and Van Dijk when they needed to climbing all over him. Didn't get frustrated, didn't stop. Okay, with the corner bit with Alisson, he did. He chirped up a little bit too much with the referee. And even the defenders, there was so much coming in. Diaz trying to run the game, these little 1-2s on the area. I would have blamed them for losing concentration. I don't, by and large, for most of the game, I don't think they did. I think I found it right at the end. I got to say, I found Fabianski really frustrating. It was 92 or 93 minutes, and he got the ball, and it was a case of now. This is it, mate. This is it. We're probably going to have one more opportunity to get into their box. Just now. And he didn't do it, and he kept, and then bam. Okay. And then what he did is he waited. Everybody got back. Our one opportunity to win that game was when Liverpool were on us and they had the high line. We had space in. He waited and waited and waited for Liverpool to retreat all the way back into their half. So there was no space behind them. Then he hoofed it up the bloody pitch. Well, you might as well have done that when we had a chance that there was space there and Antonio could have run into it. I was furious with him. But anyway, I think it was more frustration because I felt close to us getting a goal. It was a little bit frustrating. I totally agree with what you said about Chester's, and he's got a little bit of form for that, Moyes. He sometimes tells people that they're going onto the pitch, and then he leaves it. I can't remember which player he was, and he said, "Oh, it was a corner. It was a corner. It was a corner." It went on for, I think, either 7 or 11 minutes. There was a player. It was last season, and it just went on for ages. Do you remember who it was?
No, it was Ben Rama. I think it was Ben Rama. Before it was Ben Rama. I could be wrong, but I think he was ready to come on, and we just couldn't get him on the pitch.
It was horrendous.
I think he sat back down in the end.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to say no to Chester's. He's really got to watch that, by the way. So don't get me wrong, we were playing well, but he would have felt like $1 million, Chester's. And I'm glad he got on. But I think it's important you get a chance to touch the ball once or twice, because I think as motivational as it can be to get onto the pitch, I think it'd be very demotivating if actually your chance is almost taken away. I know it wasn't, but I thought he left it a little bit too long. But I get it, because I think it was going to be a substitution for Souček. That's what I think was going to happen there, and I think he changed it because we got a corner, and he changed it and did 4 nails anyway. All in all, though, Geo, I thought we were going to get spanked today. Honestly, I thought we were going to get spit roast. I probably can't say that. I thought we were going to get done. It's no better, really, is it? And that was a lot better than I was expecting it to be. And believe it or not, it actually makes me a little bit more hopeful ahead of the game on Thursday, actually.
Yeah, I think back to individual performance for myself, I thought Zuma was fantastic again. He's a joy to watch. I enjoy watching Kurt Zuma defend. That's how good he is at it sometimes. The ball comes up and they look like they've got a bit of a chance and bang, he's there. And he had to cover Creswell's arse a couple of times. He's up against Salah, Creswell. He's going to get beaten on a couple of occasions. Zuma was there to help him out and stuff. I just thought another terrific performance from him. Then we had a couple of quiet players out there today. I thought Vlasic was quite quiet. I thought Bowen was quite quiet, quite poor, to be honest with you, both of them actually. And when you go to places like Liverpool, you can't afford to have passengers in the team. I thought we had 1 or 2 out there. They were working hard off the ball though, which sort of lets them off with it a little bit. But I didn't really feel they contributed loads. I thought Lanzini had a good game. Pleasing to see him play well on a deeper role. Had a little bit of grit about him, was going in for a couple of slide tackles and stuff. And whenever he got fouled, you could see him saying to the ref, "Oh, come on, then, what are you doing?" It was nice to see that from him. Actually, he needed a big game. Souček needed a big game without Declan Rice, and had we had Declan Rice today, we might have got something. But I didn't miss him as much as I was expecting. And I was dreading seeing West Ham today without Declan Rice. But I thought we did okay in the centre midfield. We weren't dominant. We weren't the better midfield of the two teams. But I thought we gave a good game to their three centre midfielders, actually, Fabinho, Henderson and Keita. I don't think either of them were anything special. And that's down to the performances of our players as well. I thought Fabianski was relatively poor. His distribution was poor. Didn't have loads to do in terms of saving shots, got the Mane goal all wrong. But I thought Antonio really, really good. Benrahma looked good when he came on. He had a few bright moments, but his final balls lacking. There wasn't anything. He didn't create any chances. There was a couple of moments where he should have passed it. He didn't, and he's frustrating. I think he's frustrating and concerning. At one point, Diop had to go and speak to Benrahma. So I don't know if there's a communication issue or something, but at one point Diop was standing giving instructions to Benrahma, who was on the pitch. I mean, that's not right. As Moyes had to say to him, Diop, can you say this to him in French, please? Probably pass the fucking ball. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how you say that.
Antonio's got the ump here.
I don't quite know how you say that. So could you just translate that word for me, please? The gaffer says, pass the ball a bit more urgently, please, Mr. Said.
Or he will substitute you again.
I actually thought he was going to. Do you know when Chester's was coming on? I thought, I wonder if he's going to take Benrahma off and be like, do you want to shout at me? This is what I'll do.
Absolutely.
I'll put you on and take you back off again. But listen, at the end of the day, I don't really click on comments too much in a review, otherwise we'll be here all night. But this comment from Juicy P sums it up for me. He says, West Ham, lots of positives, no points. Liverpool, average, 3 points. All you need to know. So frustrated. And I think that is it for me. Like I said, on one hand, I thought we played well. Lots of positives to take from today. But on the other hand, Liverpool were not in first gear today. They had another couple of gears to go, and they didn't have to. It was only 1-0. I felt we were always in with a chance. And if our front players, and I say players plural, all of them were a little bit better, made a little bit better decisions or something, we would have come away with something tonight, possibly even 3 points. Tactically, I thought we got it bang on, hence why we create so many chances. I feel okay. I was expecting a bit of a spanking, but we didn't get one. But the problem is we've just played our first 11 and we've lost Jared Bowen. He might make it for Sevilla. We don't know. But if we don't, this game's cost us one of our best players for one of our most important games. It's the risk that Moyes knew Moyes knew this was a risk. I guess he could get injured at any point in training or in any games, Jared Bowen. But you reduce risk, don't you? Which is don't play him in games. Risk is massively reduced. But he chose to play him. I can understand why. Had we got a point tonight or even a win, it would have been justified. But we didn't. So I can see both sides. Like I said, we played well. No complaints really about the performance of West Ham or the players. Just a bit frustrating that I feel like tonight we probably deserve something and we didn't get anything, and that's frustrating. Anything you'd like to add before we disappear?
No, it's annoying. It's frustrating. The biggest worry for me is I thought we played much better than I thought. I thought lots of players look like they're coming back to form, and I didn't think that was. I thought Liverpool were quite scintillating at times. I thought they would have scored 2 or 3 against other teams. I thought, well, no, that's what I think. But what I do worry about. Sorry,
I'm just saying I disagree. I've seen them play a hell of a lot better than that.
No, I think they would have scored 2 or 3 past other teams. But we defended resolutely. I thought where Diaz looked sensational. What I am worried about is the big thing today is the Bowen thing. That's what's the defeat I can handle. The defeat in that manner I can handle. Bowen is a worry. That being said, I am more buoyed ahead of the Sevilla game than I thought I would be at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, right, we're going to disappear. If you enjoyed this review, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel. We'll be back on Tuesday evening together with our preview of that game in Sevilla. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have Jared Bowen available for it. Myself and Gonzo can disappear. We'll be live tomorrow at 11:30 over on our Patreon with our player ratings. We will discuss each player a little bit more in depth. Links in the description if you wish to know more. But myself and Gonzo, catch you in a bit.